and welcome back to another Loc Talk. My name is Pauline, for those of you who are new to the channel, and this is Lisa.
Hey everybody.
Lisa will be giving you guys her hair journey, and I'm so excited for you guys to hear about her journey. Okay, so Lisa, tell us about your journey. So when did you started your loc journey?
Well, my first loc journey began in 2001. I had just moved to the Atlanta area from Oklahoma, and I had been loose natural, I would say, for about 8-9 years before that, and just wearing braids and just my natural hair out. Moved to Atlanta, had been doing some research about wanting to get locs, but I wanted locs that could be versatile, so I came across Sisterlocks. And so I started my first set of locs in 2001 from a trainee, because for no other purpose than she was reasonable compared to the certified Sisterlock consultants, but she was good,
So let me ask you, not to interject, but in 2001, child, I was graduating high school.
Whatever, don't date me now. You telling my age.
I was graduating high school in 2001. So what were the prices back then for installs?
They were like in the, let's see, I would say from a certified experienced consultant, they were anywhere from like 800 and upward.
Okay.
The trainee I got, she was needing to get her, 3 heads you have to have or whatever. So she gave me a pretty good discount. I paid around $500, $550, which was a lot to me.
How long was your hair?
My hair grows out as opposed to down, because I have just dense hair.
A lot of hair.
So I would say I probably had, once you stretch it out, I'd probably say 8 inches.
That's a good price.
Yeah. So I think because she was, a trainee and needed to get her 3 head requirement, I lucked up on a good deal with her.
So that was in 2001 you locked, okay?
Yes.
So what made you decide to lock your hair in 2001?
Well, because I was always wearing individual micro braids for the most part to protect my natural hair. And I would wear twists. I even wore a natural texture weave for the first time, which I didn't like. I'm not a weave person, and no offense to anybody that is. But I was like, if I'm always wearing braids and I take them out to let my hair rest and then I get them right back in, why not just do locs?
Okay.
So that's why I chose to lock my hair.
Did you find a lot of people wearing Sisterlocks back then?
No.
So how did you hear about it?
I just was on the web looking for small locs. I would look at I bought all the hair magazines, and then somehow in my search on Google, Sisterlocks came up.
Hair magazines.
Yes, back in the day, that's what we used to use. I know you youngins don't know nothing about that. Again, dating myself. So.
Oh Lord, now it's Instagram.
Right. IG and TikTok and all that. No, we didn't have that back then.
All right, so you found Sisterlocks on the internet. Okay, so you got your locks, and how did you? So you said you started off with about 8 inches. Okay, so tell us about that journey.
Well, that journey, back then I thought it was expensive. It was like having to go I went every 4 weeks in the beginning to get retightened to make sure I didn't have any slippage or anything. So, and the cost, for the retightening, back then, I think she charged me like $25 an hour. Because she was new, it sometimes take us, 6 to 8 hours back then. So it was a cost. But then when I thought about how much I paid every 2 weeks at a salon when I was getting perms and relaxers, things like that, it kind of evened out.
Okay.
But I got looks from people because they didn't understand what they were. White people, black people, my own family. What is that in your head? What you got going on?
You got little twigs in your head.
What's with them braids? I'm like, these are not braids. So at the time I was like, I try not to get discouraged because I was like, I know it's a process. I know I've seen the pictures. I bought the books, you know, the Sisterlocks books and all of that. That Dr. Cornwall had out. So I was like, I know what the end result I'm going for is. And then once my hair started maturing and people could see,
that's when
then
like,
it was a different question.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so how long did that take? Oh, you paid that much for that? And I'm like, well, it's all in what you want, and I'm willing to pay for my hair. It's healthier for my hair because when I had relaxers, I had stress points. My right side and the back was my stress point. Always broke off. So that was why I went natural about 8 to 10 years before getting Sisterlocks because I was like, I don't want my hair breaking off. So, but then, like I said, once they started maturing and people started saying, then I started getting the questions like, oh, well, how do you like it? Is it this? Is that? Because I would always curl it or braid it, or I had a friend who was a hairstylist. She would put it up in different styles that you could put up with relaxed hair, so people saw how versatile they were. So I enjoyed the process. I mean, I'm one not to waver too much because I saw what I could do. I could do the same thing. I used to even flat iron it back in the day because I did have some straighter ends in the beginning just from damage. Even though I was natural, I still had heat damage. So I had straight ends on the end, but it wasn't too bad.
Okay, so you rocked your first set and then you enjoyed it. So what made you cut off what made you decide not to keep your locks?
Well, in my head, I was like, oh, I'm gonna see how long I can grow them for 10 years. I wouldn't cut them. I wouldn't do anything to them until 10 years. I mean, I added color, highlights, things like that, but I was like, I'm not gonna cut them until I reach the 10-year mark. I reached the 10-year mark and I was like, well, natural hairstyles have come a long way. You started seeing more people more accepting of natural hair. So you had people, you know, there was different twist method. There was all these different products you could use to get your natural curl to behave, so to speak. So I was like, oh, I want to play in my, you know, I haven't had loose natural hair in 10 years, so I want to play in it. So I had my locks. They were down pretty much past my tail, for lack of a better, behind. And so I had them cut up to my shoulder. And because I have nothing but time, sometimes I picked my locks out. Because I got a big head and I didn't want to go through that teeny weeny afro stage where a lot of people think you have to cut your locks off. So I picked mine out. I would get conditioner. I had a rat tail comb, started out picking it out. And that was too big, so then I, you know, those large paper clips.
Paper clips, okay.
The thicker ones, the big ones. I just unraveled one of those. I'd have my conditioner, have my spray bottle, and while I was either watching TV, I would pick it out. If I was sitting at work at my desk working and maybe listening to some training or something, I'd pick out. And I picked out the front first.
You started with the front?
Because I could, you know, braid that up or pull it back and nobody pretty much know the difference.
Okay.
And it took me, though, I mean, unless you got patience, because I did it myself. So, and I just took my time, and I have so much hair, as you can see, that most people didn't notice I was taking my locks down. So it took me about 6 months.
To take down just the front?
No, all of it.
To take the whole thing down, 6 months?
About 6 months.
Yep. So when you shampooed your hair, working with the two different
textures?
Yeah. How was that process?
I would braid. I went back to the old, you know, requirements that you give new.
The banding?
The braiding and banding, yep. Okay. So I braid and band the lock section and then leave out my natural hair.
Okay.
And then I wash and then condition, and then I would braid the natural hair and then rinse again the locks after I took them out of the braiding band.
Okay.
It was a process. It wasn't easy.
I bet.
A process.
I mean, yeah, definitely a process. So it took 6 months for you to take it out, and then you went completely natural.
Yes.
So how was that process or that journey?
Oh my gosh. One, I forgot what it was like to be a loose natural. Ugh, the washing condition, detangling, that did me in. And then trying to find product that worked with my hair texture to give me the effect I was trying to go for, to be more manageable, to define my curls. But I would use a Sunday or a Saturday. My whole Saturday or Sunday morning would be my hair day. So whatever day I chose, I'd get up, I'd wash, then I'd condition, and then I'd have to sit up if I wanted a 2-strand twist, or if I was trying to do a braid out. That would take me almost a whole day. So that's when I realized you locked your hair the first time for a reason, because you didn't want to do it. So that's why I was like, yeah, I need to go back to locks. So
okay, so it took you 6 months to lock your hair, and then how long did you stay loose natural?
I stayed loose natural after I had taken it down. I stayed that for exactly 12 months. Exactly 12 months, and I finally was like, yeah, I'm tired of doing this. Loose, I played in it, I'm done, but there was a reason. I got too much hair, and it takes me too much time, and I don't have the patience for that. So I found another loctician. I had moved from the state I originally had gotten my first set in.
Because your first set was in Atlanta, right?
Yes, my first set I got done here in the Atlanta area, and then I moved to Texas. So I had them done by a consultant there in Texas after the 12 months.
Okay. So your second set journey started
in April 2013.
April 2013. So what was the process like then? Since you was thinking 500 from a trainee.
Yeah. It was a little more than that. It was about, by the time I had them redone, I think I paid about $1,200.
Okay. And how long was your hair then? Because I knew you said you combed it out to shoulder length. I'm sure you had lots of shrinkage.
I had lots of shrinkage, so I don't know in length. I never measured it, but I would say it was probably at my shoulders when I had it redone, and then when it shrank up to right about cheek level.
Okay.
But like I said, I have a lot of shrinkage and spring in my hair, so
you do.
It was a lot longer than it looked.
Wow. And guys, I will include pictures because she keeps like a whole collection. She got like pictures from the first set, second set, when she was natural, when she did the press out. So I was like, oh girl, thank you. That's lots of pictures. So I will definitely include pictures to show you guys her journey, because I think it's very interesting, because a lot of people think, oh, okay, I'm gonna wear my locks for a certain amount of time, and then don't think about what's the plan after that. Because with your locks, you just wash and go, literally, and that's it, you know. And so when you go back to being natural, loose natural, now you got to do your hair, and it's like, wait a minute.
Oh, that was a wake-up call.
It was. I bet. So what did you do? How did you wear your hair when you were natural?
When I was natural, I did twist outs, or just wash and go with afro. A lot of headbands.
So when you went back locked in 2013, how was the process then?
The journey was easier because I knew what to expect. I gave myself grace in how it was going to look. You know, I understood the scalpiness. I realized it's just hair. You know, now that I'm on this journey and seeing how far my hair has come since, I'm back to pretty much almost the length it was before I took them down. Yeah. It's been less amount of time. So, but I don't worry about it as much anymore. I let my hair do what it's going to do, and I trust the process.
And then, so what, 2013, so you're going up, what, 9 years?
9 years.
And within that 9 years, we shaved the back.
Yes, we did an undercut.
We did an undercut.
We did 2 undercuts because we took 4 rows off, remember? And then I was like, oh, that's not high enough. And then you took about 4 more rows off for me. So
literally from ear to ear, we shaved the back. And then she ended up moving to Texas. Again. And you put in your back. You put the undercut back.
Yeah, I like to experiment, and I didn't know if I wanted to wait to come back to a Sisterlock consultant to put them back in my undercut. So I kept the locks that Pauline had cut off for me, and when my hair had grown out to probably about 3 inches, I braided them, did my own little version of some locks, and then reattached the Sisterlocks that were cut off.
She locked her own back and then reattached the locks.
Yes.
And she did a pretty good job as far as maintaining, somewhat of a grid.
And I appreciate Pauline agreeing to take me back and maintain.
Yeah, so she moved back to Atlanta a couple of months ago, and then was like, Pauline, I'm back. I'm like, oh, okay, come on. She came back, undercut was all gone.
Yeah.
Hair longer. That's awesome. Well, that's an awesome journey. So, overall, how would you describe your Sisterlock journey, your lock journey?
It's great for me. I mean, it gives me the ease of not having to do anything to my hair if I don't want to. Like you said, I can wash and go.
Mm-hmm.
I suffer from a chronic illness, so sometimes I'm just not feeling well enough to do anything to my hair, but I don't worry about it
mm-hmm.
because I know my hair is locked and they're maintained and taken care of well by you.
Mm-hmm.
And I try not to do anything that's gonna damage my locks
mm-hmm.
or make it harder for you to maintain them for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, for me, I will never go back to being a loose natural. I may cut it, I'm going to probably dye it, I may even shave it again, but I will always have Sisterlocks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and she even maintains, she took a retightening class years ago. Did you take it with your first set?
With my first set of locks. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she took a retightening class with her first set of locks, so she knows how to retighten her hair. And when she has a hard time getting into my schedule, she'll do the front until she can get in for the full thing. But yeah, it's okay to, step in and do your hair when you got to. So
I will say the retightening class helped me during the pandemic. When everything was shut down.
Because were you in Texas?
I was in Texas,
mm-hmm.
and when everything was shut down, I was like, everybody else is freaking out. Oh, I'm gonna lose locks. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to get out this needle and retighten my own head. But I was confident that I could maintain until I could get into
mm-hmm.
a consultant to,
mm-hmm.
And I didn't mess it up. So
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I started offering self-retightening classes because so many people have asked me about it and wanted me to teach them. So as far as the self-retightening class and you having to retighten your hair, would you feel like it's a good benefit or?
Oh, it's definitely a benefit. I mean, I definitely like coming to the salon because I like somebody else to wash my hair for me and to do my hair, but I think it's a good thing because if I need to retighten it on my own, I can. Mm-hmm. It just takes patience. I think people are afraid they're gonna mess something up because they think they have to be as fast as you.
No, but yeah, that's true.
You're a professional. I'm not a professional. That's what some people are concerned about.
They want to go as fast as me. I'm like, you're never going to be able to do your hair as fast as me. And it's okay. The goal is not to teach you to go fast.
Right.
The goal is to help you to do your hair in a pinch. If there's an emergency or something, you're able to at least do the front, because the perimeter, the locks around the perimeter are like the weakest link. So you want to make sure you keep those maintained if you have to go, a little bit longer without getting a retightening. So, so for people who travel, this is awesome for
definitely.
them. If you end up, I hear all the time people move, they don't have a loctician, so they end up cutting their locks. I'm like, oh no.
And that's what happened to me when I first moved back to Texas. This last time,
mm-hmm.
I had a hard time finding a consultant because a lot of people weren't taking transfer clients.
Yeah.
So
Texas is pretty. They got a lot of locticians.
They have a whole lot, and so it took me probably 3-4 months before I could find
A loctician?
a loctician.
Okay, wow. So in those 3-4 months, you were able to maintain your hair?
Yes.
Alrighty. Well, my classes are monthly. Online will be coming soon. I know a lot of people are asking about online. Online will be coming soon. So I just say, make sure you protect your investment. Make sure you protect your hair. Because you just never know. I know how to retighten my own hair, but I still don't do it,
Right.
Because nobody really wants to retighten their own hair. You just want to go to somebody and get it taken care of.
And be pampered.
That's it. And I love to be pampered, honey. Even during the pandemic,
Yes.
I was like, I ain't touch my head. They're like, you going to retighten your home? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till my loctician. Because I hate doing it. I don't like doing my hair. I like doing other people's hair. But I do understand if I'm on an island or something and I don't have anybody to do it for me, I know I'm capable of doing it myself. So, because baby, I can't picture my life without locks.
I can't either.
I just can't. I don't want to do, if I can't get up and go, so locks is just going to have to be it for me. So, but yes. Well, thank you, Lisa, so much for sharing your journey. And if you're out there thinking about, I want to cut my hair, listen, you don't want to, cut it and then having to end up going back, So many people do it. They cut it thinking, I want to be a loose natural, and then they go back to being locked. And it's okay if you want to experiment. It's hair. Like Lisa said, it's hair. So if you want to cut it, you want to experiment with being a loose natural. If you want to do it, But, you can always come back home.
Yes.
To the Loc Nation, okay?
You got to remember why you locked your hair in the first place.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. See y'all next time. Bye.